As you can see by Derrell's gloves and my shaking, the winter weather is still around. So Derrell, how is this overall impacting cattle markets right now?
You know, out in cattle country, obviously cattle producers individually have a lot of issues dealing with this. They've got to chop ice and to get water, a lot of extra feed hauling and so on. As far as broader market impacts in the feeder cattle markets, you know, we're just starting the year anyway, so a lot of the markets have been closed because of the weather. Some of them have never really started since the holidays. So we've seen some disruptions there. It's a little bit hard to get a beat on sort of the market price level at this point, just because we haven't had a lot of movement at this point.
So how is this winter weather actually impacting fed cattle and beef markets?
You know, at the fed cattle, if you look at feedlot country, we've had a number of impacts that go back even to that storm around Christmas time that affected the plains. And so obviously fed cattle performance is greatly impacted. We're going to see carcass weight start coming down. There were even some packing plant closures as a result of the weather here recently. So there's been some disruption in beef supplies going to market. And again, coming out of the holidays, box beef markets were down initially, but then they've come up sharply because of the disruption. So, you know, again, we're still trying to sort it all out, but certainly there have been some impacts.
As we all know, the hay situation was looking pretty grim, like for most of the country. So what's it looking like now?
You know, USDA recently released some data on hay production in 2023. And so for the whole country, hay production was up modestly from last year, about 6.3%. If you look at the top 10 beef cattle states, it was up closer to 22%. So we did see some improvement. Of course, that's from very low drought levels in 2022. And if you look at December 1 hay stocks, it's pretty similar to that. We have about 7% more higher December 1 stocks for the whole country, but about 18.5% higher stocks in the top 10 beef cattle states. So we are in better shape in general across the major beef cattle areas.
What about the state of Oklahoma?
Oklahoma is actually quite unique in the country. We had an unusually good year last year relative to states around us. So hay production was up about 88% in Oklahoma, and the December 1 hay stocks were almost double what they were a year ago at the end of 2022. So, you know, and we're even above a 10-year average in terms of December 1 hay stocks. So locally or regionally here, we're in pretty good shape, but there's still a lot of limited hay supplies in surrounding areas.
So with that winter weather impacting, you know, several states, especially in beef country, you know, how is that going to impact prices for the consumer?
Well, again, you know, box beef markets coming out of the holidays dropped off initially, but then with the disruptions we've had lately, they've come back strongly. And so, you know, the bottom line is we're going to continue to see impacts for consumers. I don't think we're going to, you know, we'll see, if anything, higher prices, although January is not a strong beef demand time. So, you know, the disruptions here will just add some additional supply pressure to that market.
All righty, thanks, Derrell. Dr. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.